what is like what are we doing? Like, what is happening?
Some products out there. So more to come on the White Cloaks.
Sounds good.
Yeah, don't ask any questions. Consume White Cloak's product and be excited for next White Cloak product. I'm enter RLM right there.
That's good. That's good.
What's up, guys? Doing a chill stream right here. Decided to show my face after all. So
well, now you're gonna need to push me to the other side.
Oh wait,
for symmetry again.
Yeah, now he's now the pit man's going to be sandwiched in or something.
Sandwich. Okay.
Yeah. So, how you guys doing? So nothing, just chilling. I have my what's it? Woodford double oaked barrel finish select. This one drinking. What about you guys?
I've got a root beer that I mixed in some coconut and half, so it's nice.
That's an interesting. I guess you.
It's a Utah thing. It's a Utah thing.
I was gonna say
it's called
you're
dirty
teetotal.
sodas.
You're teetotal, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I won't bring up the Winston Churchill quote that I mentioned on the last Nerdportal stream. I'm drinking actually like relatively respectable. I'm drinking a hot toddy, which does have whiskey in it. Because obviously it should, but I'm not drinking it because I'm a lush. I'm drinking it because I'm under the weather and not feeling great, and it's medicinal. All right, TM, it's medicinal, and he's like, I don't buy this. You're a drunk.
Yeah, he's a drunk already. He's a bigger alcoholic than me. I'm not even.
That's
alcoholic.
actually why my camera's off. It's not that I'm feeling sick. It's that I'm sitting here like 3/4 naked with just Cheeto dust all over me and like a greasy beanbag. Like I'm really.
Okay, I have to. Are you wearing?
I'm rock bottom here.
Are you rocking the sunglasses or no?
I mean, I really actually need to update my avatar picture. I have one now with the sunglasses on.
Do you?
You know what? Here, I'm gonna work on this. You keep being a professional streamer. I'm gonna be the amateur with the wrong avatar picture for a minute here. just ignore the horse without the sunglasses. Pay no attention.
So I figure have a conversation talking about the Wheel of Time series and all that. So I've been doing this book club for like the last, I think it's going to be a couple of years since I started with the Eye of the World. So has it been that long, Pips? If you're still there, I forget. Yeah, you were there from the beginning.
It's been more than a year. Yeah.
No, it's been 2 years. I think because this is right after. This was right after House of the Dragon season 1 when. I think first time that you were on the channel. So
it'd be 2 years ago then, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds at least reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been 2 years since I started this, and I used to just break this up. Like first I started quarter of the book, and then I started doing it where there was a good chunk of chapters that covered particular characters. So like there'd be like a cluster of 3 chapters for Rand, there'd be like 4 chapters, 10 chapters for Nynaeve, and as Mike's book reviews calls them, the Wonder Girls, because I don't know, they get a lot more. I think they get a lot more screen time than Rand and the rest of the Ta'veren do, and I'm curious about that. So
they get a lot of screen time.
Yeah, like is it? I don't know. I've been finding their storylines not nearly as compelling as I want, as I wish it to be. I don't know what it is. There we go. You should just make an avatar of yourself with the sunglasses.
No, this is
like my friend Dread Roberts has an avatar of himself. You should make a similar avatar, but with the sunglasses, the plaid shirt. And everything.
I mean, not everybody.
And the drink.
In fact,
and the drink. He would be holding up the drink.
Okay, well now, I mean, I'd have to swap out my White Cloak's retired horse. I'd have to use like a BoJack Horseman, because then he'd be drinking with sunglasses on.
Didn't you steal that from Dane's sketch or something with the BoJack or something?
You mean the retarded horse from Family Guy?
From the sketch of the horse to represent Game of
Uh,
Thrones or something,
So
or
he
Wheel of
actually
Time.
he used that for the end for the end of the Wheel of Prime rather, season 1. And then he made me in. He basically said that I was the retarded horse, and then that stuck, and so now we have it.
Hi, Trip.
I pulled up some charts if you want to know like breakdowns from or POVs.
Sure.
Let's see, I'm pulling these from it's from Reddit.
Are we
I'm not
pulling
pro- I'm-
Reddit.
we pulling
Reddit.
the book breakdowns? Or,
Yeah. I think it's the total series.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
this
say
is
they
the
do
whole
have ones
series.
they do have ones for the individual books as well.
Yeah, it's broken down a little bit there too. Here, if you're curious.
Crossroads of Twilight is like if you look at the upcoming book POVs when you're about to pick up that book and you look at the character POVs and you're just it makes it that much harder to muster up the courage. You're like,
Right.
oh, it's 30% Egwene.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see what we got here.
So if you go for the whole series, Rand gets the most screen time. Rand, Perrin, and Matt. But Elaine and Egwene get some big chunks in there. And
is
towards
sad
the
when
end of
you
the
see-
series, they get more too.
It is sad when you see that Egwene has more than Matt.
I think that's the number of chapters. So then if you go
Yes.
by word count,
Length.
she
Yeah.
does. She does.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Parents got quite a bit.
I mean, Egwene's storyline is pretty important. But yeah, Matt. I feel like Matt is underused.
So I want to just throw something out here. I bet that this is a series total. I bet if you do up to Crossroads, or if you do up to Knife of Dreams only, and you remove the Sanderson books from it, I bet that the Matt and Egwene chapters are maybe not quite. They may be either closer, or maybe Matt might actually have more. Sanderson really used Egwene a lot.
He did.
And really, I mean, he said himself he didn't know what to do with Matt. So.
I feel like he did Perrin pretty well. I liked what he did with Perrin.
Rand and Perrin both, I think, do.
Oh yeah,
well,
especially with Gathering Storm. Yeah.
So I think. I mean, hey, we're not going to get into a whole thing.
Yeah,
with the entire
we don't want to
series
spoil
here.
anything.
Still,
I thought this one was interesting though. Like
I know enough.
As the series goes on, the main characters get cut in half.
I mean, obviously that would almost have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just because you start getting so much more characters,
So many more.
I do like when you look at these lists though, and you see like the top. Oh yeah.
Oh, you want me to go back? Sorry, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was just saying like the top sort of like unexpected character, right? Is I always think is Morgaze. Morgaze is like an oddly high sort of like POV character.
Yeah.
All of the other ones, when you're reading down that list, you're like, all right, Rand, Perrin, Egwene, Matt, Elaine, Nynaeve, Min, Moraine. I mean, Fail, we could do without her. Just, give her chapters out to the other characters there.
That's one thing that I'm kind of disappointed with in this book is that in the prologue, instead of getting a Perrin thing, because we missed Perrin was gone for a whole book. He was gone entirely in Fires of Heaven. So I was hoping to see him again in the prologue. Instead, we do see him again, but we see him at the very end of the Fail segment. So I don't know. And
he is not.
And he's
not
barely
gone from this book.
He's not.
He's in this
good.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he comes until the very. I don't think he comes until as far as I got in the audio when I was listening to it months ago, I didn't encounter him at all. And I
forgot that you had read some of it in the audiobook.
Yeah, I got up to where they healed Logain. they healed the stilling and the gentling. So, and then I was a little annoyed, and I talked to Steve about it on his stream, and Steve in the chat kind of explained to me why they were why Nynaeve was the first one thousands of years to do it. So because that was my issue, is like why did we wait thousands of years only for Nynaeve to do it when no one else tried to do it before? So that was my question.
Out of curiosity, what did the chat and Steve tell you? Like, why did they explain that to you?
They explained that the Aes Sedai were basically, because they were so set in their ways, they just didn't care. It was just something that they didn't ever consider.
So I would actually
it's been months. I don't remember the exact response, but it was basically it was just something that,
Well, Steve is in the chat, so he can defend himself. But I will offer that I think there's actually one kind of two things that need to be remembered. One, absolutely, the Aes Sedai throughout the entire series, a key thing that we keep seeing over and over again is that they think they know a lot of shit. They know more than they do. They know more than they actually do. When they've been raised and told that you can't heal stilling, then so much of them, why try? I don't waste your time trying to do a thing that can't be done. Right? Is very much a thing that the Aes Sedai that's their position on a lot of stuff. Right?
So my feeling.
Yeah.
Can I interject really quickly before you go on to your next point? My reason why I felt the way I did. I'll be quick. The reason why I felt that way is there's always someone that's going to rebel or find a way to do something, and that's kind of where I was at. And I was kind of hoping with Suan in the Shadow Rising going into Fires of Heaven that she knew something that nobody else did, that was covered up, that was there was a way to reverse it. Now this might sound tropey, but it was something that I think I could have gotten behind and been a little, invested in, a little excited for. But hey, that's just me.
I think Trip explains it pretty well too. That they don't share information very much.
Trip is stealing basically the thing that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So if you remember, who's been stilled up to this point is people that the White Tower is punishing internally. So Aes Sedai, that they are basically, we would kill you, but this is even worse. And men who can channel. And under both of those two circumstances, they don't want to heal that person. So, see how they treat Logain afterwards. They're actually pissed at Nynaeve for healing him because now he's another male channeler, right? So that's a real important thing to remember as well. That it's not just that they know in the back of their mind you can't do it. Why would you want to do it?
Wait, so that happens in this book, the Logain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, chapter 29.
You said that. I was like, wait. Does he know that? That's why we were having this conversation.
I know about.
That's my favorite part. It's so good.
So I know about Alana. I know about Alana. Basically, what do you call it? Linking Rand to her. What do they call that again? So made him a warder. Bonding. Yeah, bonded him. So I remembered that.
That she raped him. Sorry.
Pretty much, yeah. Violated him, yeah.
Magical graping.
And I know, I know there was an assassination attempt by a certain.
Gosh, how much creepier? How much worse is that scene going to be? The show's going to get canceled, so we're never going to have to watch that. But how much worse would it be to see the Alana from the show magically coming in and just bonding against his will, Rand? When
totally
you know
believable.
that, when you know that means that she's going to tie him down to a bed afterwards and make him do the whole sort of human centipede of her other warders.
I totally can believe that. The whole thing was creepy in my opinion.
You've never banged 3 men at the same time, Rand. You're missing out.
She's gonna be sitting there eating something, just watching as Rand is just tied to the bedpost, The other two just take turns on him.
Probably doing something with another guy. Probably.
Okay, we can't talk about
the show's so
again.
gross. Anyway, I could have used more Pedro Nile and Avienda. I think those.
I like the. I actually was really intently listening closely to the Spy Master chapter. So I liked how Michael Kramer really kind of made Pedro Nile sound extremely different than he did in the Dragon Reborn. So this time he sounds more conniving and more evil. I'm guessing because of the Patent Fane Ordeef exposure.
I didn't realize Rand didn't have any chapters in the Towers of Midnight, except for that little sliver.
Yeah, I mean, very very little in.
I guess I was not heard when I made a point. So
sorry.
No,
Go back to your point.
That's actually rude. That's actually rude on stream.
So I actually heard your point there and was formulating a response. Mainly, I was just going to say that's an interesting insight that I'd never actually noticed.
You haven't?
I never noticed that he voices Patton, or that he voices him differently.
He does. And if he does, it's something I noticed. Like that's kind of why I was intently listening.
That'd be a pretty subtle pickup by Michael Kramer in.
That's why.
He was doing those audiobooks a long time ago without the benefit of like the full series being published, like as he was doing them, right? So he started doing the audiobooks after maybe like book 3 or 4 at the latest.
I was curious how long ago those were recorded. Was Robert Jordan still alive, or was this after he passed away?
I'm pretty sure that he was still writing, but I can check and see.
Because I'm curious when Robert Jordan says in his interview, like he doesn't read his books but he listens. I'm curious if he's listened to Michael Kramer.
I would assume that's the version he's listening to. Yeah.
So here's the reason that I want to say that I think they were published before his death. I think he was actually asked about some of the pronunciations in the audiobook, and he did mention that they were actually that they got some things wrong, but that he overall thought they did a good job. I think was an official Q&A thing that he did, where he corrected some pronunciations. But
it would be.
So I came across. I was reading this a couple days ago. I came across a Forsaken chapter right here. So apparently, how do you pronounce this character?
2004, by the way.
2004. All right.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce this?
No, that's New Spring. It started in '96.
So the audiobook. This is just the top Google answer. The audiobook, narrated by Michael Kramer and Kate Reading, was published on May 1st, 2004 by Macmillan Audio, according to.
Oh, okay, yeah. There were earlier ones but they were abridged.
Yeah, the abridged audiobooks did predate that. Sorry, Nerdporeal, the man.
There was abridged audiobooks. What did they cut out?
Yeah, they had them on cassette tapes.
Mm-hmm. They cut out Loyal's wedding. That's the one thing I remember from the unabridged version.
Of which book?
When does that one happen? Is that Gathering Storm?
I was gonna say spoilers.
Sorry, spoilers.
I was like, I don't think that's happened at this point.
Sorry, because the first version I had was abridged, and I had to go back and reread that book because someone started talking about that event, and I was like, when did that happen? I'm sorry, I spoiled that for you.
That's all right. I know a lot of the spoilers.
I mean, it's setting it up the whole time. He's running away from it. Okay, it's got to happen eventually.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
I know a lot of the spoilers, so it's not. I know a lot of the events. I just don't know what leads up to them, so it doesn't bother me. Like I know who dies at the end. I know what happens to the Dragon Reborn at the end. So just don't know how it happens or why it happens and all that. So
which I feel like when you're reading Eye of the World for the first time, like I still maintain that anybody who reads Eye of the World and has any question about whether or not the good guys are going to win, I don't know what they've like. I don't know what's happened to them in their reading experience. I feel like it's super obvious from like book one. It's just a question of how do you get there? You know that.
Yeah, it's very intentionally, good triumphs over evil, but it's about I believe there was a great philosopher that once said it's not about how fast you get there, it's not about what's waiting on the other side, but it's the climb. So
gross. I hate so much the things that you choose to be.
it's the journey before the destination.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I see it. So it's like I know a certain character gets pregnant. I know a certain character spanks another character, and
but it's how they get spanked that's important.
I know a certain stream gets cleansed later. So I know a lot of things.
Talking about the one in Paris, right? The Seine. They had to do the Olympic swimming events there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
they didn't really like cleanse it fully. They just kind of scooped it. They just kind of scooped off the stuff on the surface.
I know. I think. I kind of figure out a certain character doesn't come back to like I think the second to last book. Who's missing since Fires of Heaven. So, I think it's going to be interesting seeing how Rand's story goes on without her. So. It's and Land's gone too. So I'm curious when he's going to come back.
Well, okay, sorry, this is going back a little bit, but because now that it's hard to juggle spoilers and not spoilers, and I'm sorry for that. But when you were talking about why hasn't anyone tried to heal stilling or gentling before, I think if you haven't found out, you're going to find out very soon that there's a difference between, and it's the theme of the whole series is that men and women need each other, right?
Yeah.
That they have different strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
And you can see.
Is that a theme in the books?
Oh, sorry. It's not a theme in the show for sure.
I was confused about the underlying themes. They seem to be so hard to pick up for the casual reader.
It's that we complement each other, and our strengths and weaknesses are inversely related. No, it's that when has Nynaeve only healed Logain, or has she done more healing?
Honestly, I think she might have done. I think she did. Suwan.
Okay, good. Okay.
And Liana.
It doesn't work as well for them.
Yeah, that I know. Yeah, it seems like for the man, it's like as if nothing's ever happened. Like comes back out 100% almost.
Right.
Whereas I think
because
with the Sidene or with the Sidar, it's like what 50%, maybe not even.
Yeah, it's because of the opposite powers.
Yeah.
It's because Logain was healed by a woman, and if the women had been stilling is the women, right? And gentling is the men.
Yeah.
Rand could have come by and completely. It would have had the same effect if he healed them as Nynaeve healing Logain.
Would it have let's say Nynaeve does heal, would it have been reversed or no? Like once you get healed, that's pretty much it. You can't really go back or fully heal with the man or something.
If it's cross gender, if it's using the opposite power, it's like flipping a light switch on and off.
Okay.
So if I'm understanding your question right, there's been conversation theorizing by fans over the years on like, all right, so say Swan got stilled and she got healed by Nynaeve, came back and had she was reduced, right? What if they stilled her again and then had a man say Flynn, had Dahmer Flynn heal her, then would she be back to original full strength, or would she be back to full strength of the reduced level that she was stilled from this time? So there's some interesting kind of things. To my knowledge, Robert Jordan never answered anything on those. So it's all like the exact function of stilling and being healed. The only thing that is clear and was answered by the books, and then Robert Jordan clarified, was what Alan just said about how the opposite gender is needed to fully heal, in keeping with the general theme that like men and women complement each other to make the whole.
I see. Okay. that makes more sense now. So
I'm a big fan of the idea that having a man heal your talent if you're a woman. So Logain gets fully powered up to basically Rand's level almost, right? Like pretty much max power, other than like the creator's chosen, which leaves open the idea that maybe when you get healed by the opposite person, maybe it's clears away all of the potential restrictions or whatever. Maybe just full power. They should experiment with power leveling some new novices. Take some novices, still them, have a man heal them up, see if they're even more strong.
So what's so this is the total word count. You really gotta go.
This is broken down by book.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, okay. New Spring.
So you can see Rand doesn't have any chapters in The Dragon Reborn because he just disappears and everyone's looking for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he only has a few in Crossroads of Twilight too. That's the one that's that's the one that's
got a lot in Gathering Storm. So.
It's Winter's Heart and Crossroads of Twilight that happen at the same time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, doesn't Crossroad Twilight happen at the same time as the final chapter of Winter's Heart, if I remember correctly?
So
there's a little bit. It's kind of weird, but most of the books happen at the same time.
So it is not like there's two books in the Song of Ice and Fire where you can take the two books and read a POV from one and then read the other from
that's
the
how
other books.
that's how I did it.
Yeah, so you can read the two books together. You can't do that with Winter's Heart and Crossroads of Twilight, but it's probably something where the first third to half of Winter's Heart, and then you have somewhere in the second half to third of Winter's Heart, the overlap happens, and then the last half to third of Crossroads of Twilight. So I don't know exactly where the overlap there is, but it's
you can see Elaine and Matt have big chunks in both of them.
Yeah.
So
there's some big signposting that you'll see in those two books though, where especially in Crossroads of Twilight, where you'll get information where you can kind of benchmark it against what happened in Winter's Heart, and you can kind of know okay.
So there's
it's one character sets off a bomb, and then in the other book, oh, what was that big noise over there I heard while this is going on?
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty transparent and obvious, but yes, the original idea was that it was one book that was cut in half because it was too large, and then he kind of beefed it up because well, now I have extra space, and it's Robert Jordan, he's gonna fill those pages out, and unfortunately, with Winter's Heart and Crossroads of Twilight, all of us are a bit the poorer for him having decided to give all of those Elaine POVs.
I keep saying it. The what happened with the Wheel of Time is he married his editor, and so she stopped telling him no.
There's probably some truth to that. There's some truth to that.
I'm sure she still did a good job, but yeah, it's going to be harder to.
So I've never actually done
Elaine, this. So let's see, Egwene, Elaine, Matt.
So Elaine is green there, and you can see Winter's Heart is a quarter of the book is Elaine, and you're just and then you look over at Crossroads of Twilight, and you're like, sweet, almost a quarter of the book is Egwene.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, I will say, I've never actually done this. I'm curious, anybody in the chat, by the way, Jacob, good to see you. I'm curious if anybody in the chat has read the abridged Wheel of Time. So there is, it's a work done by like some fans. They've done the fan edit abridgment of the Wheel of Time series. And I've always kind of wanted to try it because basically they effectively make the entire series about 3 books worth of pages shorter. And I'm like, man, if somebody who really liked the series and like knew it really well
Could cut out some of the fluff.
could cut out about,
That's
about
where a TV
10%
show
of
could
the length.
thrive. Is trim
I
some of the
agree.
fat.
When they were doing the TV show, and not to dip too far into Wheel of Prime, sorry, Corporeal, I do think that the idea that they oh, what do we do? It's like, well, there was already an abridgment done by fans. You could have started with that and then cut it a little further,
Yeah.
And that abridgment actually demonstrated, I think, what fans would have actually wanted, which is most of the cutting was done in the back half of the series. Whereas
Or the middle.
like if you're sure, but if you're looking at like books 1 through 4 of the Wheel of Time, thinking like, we really need to do some deep cuts here, like I want to punch you in the face.
Yeah. No, did I ever make you play the showrunner game? Where we
No.
Oh, that would be fun. Basically when they
On your
announced
channel,
when
we
they
won't steal the-
yeah, no, but when they announced that they could have a potential 8-season run, I was like, oh, well, this will be a fun exercise. Let's plan out, if you were in charge, how are you going to split up the books across 8 seasons? It was so hard. And especially the hardest part was the beginning, because I'm like, okay, can you squish together books 1 and 2? No, you can't. Okay, can you cut anything from book? No, you can't do that. 3's really important too. 4's really important too. So like the first 4 seasons was like, I think you just got to do book by book, and then in the middle you can squish like 3 books into 1. That's fine.
Hey, Brian, can I boot and ban permanently from your channel here this Prophet of the Dragon guy in the chat?
Ugh.
He said the TV show is perfect. How do I permanently ban?
Well, I mean, I did give you permissions a while ago, but you squandered it. So I don't know. There's nothing you can do.
I think that I used my permissions. I had a very careful and deliberate and mature use of the powers that were afforded to me, and that's how I remember it, at least.
Yeah, you changed my name to Drunk Porial.
But you changed.
You squandered it
first, sir. You changed first.
I never changed your stuff. If that's what you're getting at.
Gonna report this guy.
No, I mean you changed into the Drunk Porial. That's you.
Oh.
It was like a werewolf in the stream. It's just it was like there's a new member in the stream, and it had to be labeled appropriately. That was
Lies, propaganda, lies, misinformation,
No, that's facts. That's facts.
alternative facts.
This Aldan guy's in the chat now too, telling me to watch the show. We really need to mod your chat there, Brian. There's some real shady suspects.
Yeah, Aldan. It's good to see you, Aldan. I haven't seen you in a while.
All right. Speaking of, I don't know, Brian. We were talking about this series, and then we started talking about the show and the chat. I'm sorry, Brian.
Well, the reason was the first 5 books are extremely important, and you can't cut anything from them. That's the point of the story. But yeah, the analytics are pretty fun to look at.
Gosh, remember when the fandom was like
cool
Good.
like this, and not raving degenerates.
Nowadays, if this chart was made, it would be made in Technicolor, if you know what I mean. The opinions of the the opinions of the panel do reflect the opinions of the Nerdporial, by the way. I think that's a disclaimer that usually gets made up front. And
I haven't said that disclaimer in a long time. It's funny that you're the one that's keeping it alive.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that if anybody's getting banned, Brian's over there just trying to survive in Chicago. You know, it's tough. It's tough being a Polak in anywhere, honestly. Like, it's just like it's a hard life. I have to imagine.
Dude, you called me. You see, I'm used to hearing around these parts dumb Polak. But you said dirty Polak, and that just cracked me up. I'm dying now because of you, dude. I am dying. I am wheezing. My asthma's going up because Pips, like Jerry Seinfeld, is a funny fuck.
You know what?
He can be a funny fuck sometimes. What can I say?
I just have to say here, I'm surprised Polak is still used in the common vernacular as a slur. That's the most surprising thing. I use it, considering it to be like, you'll know that I'm joking. Because who calls someone a Polak in 2024?
It does instantly make you sound like 30 years older than you are.
Yeah,
a bigot named.
What do you say? What do you say? You're Polak? Yeah.
It's like if anyone in
these rapscallions here.
Rapscallion.
It's like in the movie Gran Torino. If anyone other than Clint Eastwood, if someone else had said Zipperhead, they'd be like, why is a 20-year-old calling this kid a zipper? What is that? They're like Googling it, like trying to make sense of it, and then it's like a 90-year-old white guy, and you're like, a slur from the 20s. That makes sense,
Anyway, you probably don't need a. Are we done with the charts?
Yeah, we're done with the charts.
We don't need that anymore, right?
So
I'm liking everyone being in miniature mode. It's
oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I was just like, because I've been doing it the last several. Ever since I started, been doing it been splitting up the books, chapters by chapters. First, it was like I did by whatever whatever percentage I got on my Kindle is how I split it up. To the chapters, and then later I would basically do it by the characters. So I think, especially in Dragon Reborn and Great Hunt, characters were being more clustered. So he would put like 2 or 3 chapters of Perrin, 2, 3, 4 chapters of Rand together. So that's kind of how I was able to,
segment
split them up. So even with the Shadow Rising and all that. So I'm not even sure if that's like, I know, Pips, I know you've said that, it might not be the best way to go about it based on my enjoyment. So actually, did we already talk about this? If we did, my bad.
No, we talked about it before getting on the stream a little bit. My only thing was thinking back to like trying to do like assigned reading in school, where like the books that I was assigned for like the summer to like, hey, you have to read these, these 3 books over the summer and like write a book report or whatever it was, right?
That sucks. I never had to do that.
Yeah, I had to do this, but to some extent, like I actually enjoyed reading some of those books. Whereas the ones that I was assigned during the school year, even ones that were like allegedly great masterpieces of literature, because it was like, all right, guys, you have to read the next like 5 chapters by next week, and then we have a test and whatever. I hated every single one of those books because I wasn't reading the book. I was reading 5 chapters, and that's not the way a book is supposed to be consumed. That's like if you were watching a movie, but you were watching it like a TV show, and you watched, a 20 minutes cut with commercial breaks, over 10 times over 10 weeks. Like, you would probably hate that movie. you know, because it's designed to be consumed as a single, thing.
I don't know.
So,
I was able to survive, watching and recording several movies back in the day, and cutting the commercial. I always cut the commercials. I always turned off the recorder, the VHS recorder, turned off once commercials hit, and then you turn it right back on. So I had to be watching the TV like a hawk to make sure I didn't miss stuff. And sometimes I did. So,
but you were still watching the movie with commercial breaks, right? Whereas I'm talking like, what if they took a 3-hour movie, and they cut it into 10, 25-minute episodes and spread it out over, 3 months.
That sounds like modern television.
It does sound like modern
That's
television.
Picard season 3.
Which is part of the reason modern
That's why they
television
suck.
sucks, because they are trying to do the movie plot over an episode, and you end up with all these boring ass episodes. Like, that's honestly, we had this discussion watching freaking not Game of Thrones, damn it, House of the Dragon, right? Where like there's 3 or 4 episodes where it's like, hey man, instead of an 8-episode series, if this was like, a 2-movie arc or something like that, then this would probably be tighter, and like, you wouldn't be sitting here complaining about having watched an episode that was all set up and no payoff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've said my piece. I'm gonna go.
That's why older Star Trek works, because it wasn't written that way. It wasn't written like a movie. So.
When you say older, you mean like older, sort of like sequentially. So like you're a fan of New Trek, is what I'm hearing from you. All right, I'm gonna leave before he boots me from the channel. I'll be right back.
All right. No.
I think the motive behind the concern was, I mean, the last like 2 books, you did complain a lot.
Yeah, I did. I'm trying not to whine. I know I whined the other day about certain aspects of it. I'm trying not to do that. Like, yeah, because
we just wanted to make sure that it wasn't because you were ruining the books for yourself, right? Like that's
no. I'm trying to read them. I'm trying to read them, and I'm finding sleep more interesting. I'm finding closing my eyes and not thinking more interesting than what's on the page, and that's. And the thing is, there's good chapters. That's what's frustrating. The first 3 chapters of Lord of Chaos are excellent, and I mean they're all Rand, so that's gonna be an obvious thing. But then chapter 4 comes along. Chapter 4 was okay, kind of. I mean, like the rest of these chapters were basically setting stuff up, I guess. The thing is, I wish I had an idea what they were setting up, because it doesn't. I want to look forward to what's coming in the book. So, even though I kind of have an idea what's coming, based on looking ahead.
I didn't really know about this when we were talking before. I mean, I might have known this, but I'd forgotten about it if I did, if that makes sense. So I didn't know that you had already audiobooked, like kind of halfway through the book.
Yeah, but a lot of the I told you, like I told you, it's harder for me to retain stuff from the audio.
Totally agree. I totally agree, but I still think the point is maybe valid. Where like, if you've already kind of trod over some ground, the good stuff is still going to be good, but the stuff that's a little bit less your cup of tea is going to be even worse, because like now it's kind of slow, it's kind of set up, it's a character that you don't like really empathize with and resonate with, and also you've already read this. Like,
I mean,
like how miserable is it watching...
sometimes I wasn't paying attention, so that's the other thing. You guys know this. I have massive ADHD, so like listening sometimes it takes a lot of work for me. And I feel doing doing the live streams on my channel, I've gotten a lot better at it. Like I've gotten a lot better. That's why I haven't made a whole lot of friends in my life, is because of that issue. So, but I feel I've gotten better. And yeah, there are times where I'm thinking about other things instead of listening to the book, and listening to what's when I'm driving and all that. So I missed a lot of stuff anyways. It's not just me ignoring the stuff. Sometimes I think about other things when something good actually is going on. So you're not. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's not the full picture, basically.
No, I mean, I'm certainly willing to accept that it's not really like a 1-for-1, but I think like I mean, I'll put it this way. When you're watching a thing, so if you're rewatching a movie, right?
Yeah.
If it's a movie that you have seen before and you liked, when you rewatch it, it reinforces the things that you like. Like you watch it liking it even more than when you saw it the first time, because
Correct.
You're predisposed to like it.
Yes.
When you're rewatching a thing that you dislike it even more.
Not always.
Right? Because
sometimes, not always. But all right, finish your thoughts. Sorry.
I've just spent the last month editing Rings of Power videos, and it gets worse. It gets worse every time you go through it.
Yeah, doing the rewatch of Wheel of Prime, which we're doing an episode tomorrow. Plug for the channel.
Yeah, when
it's
you guys
it's gonna
releasing
be in
that?
the Discord. You can go hang out.
When you guys
I will
releasing
release
that?
them. Get off my nuts, man. I will release them when I feel like it. Everybody else telling me to do all the video editing, they're just like, oh yeah, Cinderella, like, yeah.
Wow, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You're getting bold there. Get off my nuts, damn. Yeah, man. I like you more now. I like you more now.
Where was I? Damn it, lost my train of thought. The Wheel of Prime sucks. I think that was the whole statement I was going.
The whole yeah. Well, we're talking about like you were like watching things you don't like being worse, rewatching it.
It's so much worse. Like I feel like, especially, yeah. I mean, Alan, I think you're 100% right. Especially when you're in the editing room and you're having to like watch the same sequence like 5 times over. Like in addition to hating the sound of your own voice, like the scene that you're watching, you're just like, how did this make it out of the editing room? Like this is so awful. All right, but yeah, boring chapters in
I'm just
Lord of Chaos. No boring chapters. I think we're done. We talked about it.
there's no boring chapters. Okay.
Here's the thing about Lord of Chaos. I haven't started rereading it yet. I'm definitely going to start because I want to continue these discussions. But out of all the books, I don't remember anything that happened in Lord of Chaos except for the ending, because the ending goes so hard. I couldn't tell you anything about the rest of the book.
Did it set up? I mean, was the ending set up really well in this book? It seems like it is, and based on what I'm reading, it's really teasing the whole, the whole the Aes Sedai, the White Tower is inviting or intends to support Rand and all that. So I'm curious how that's gonna play, and I'm assuming not so well.
So here's what I would say about Lord of Chaos, right? Lord of Chaos is the transition book, or the like inflection point for Rand, between 2 arcs for Rand. So when you finish Lord of Chaos and you move on to A Crown of Swords, like Rand is not the same Rand anymore.
No.
So like when you're looking at this chart that we have in front of us and you see Lord of Chaos and it's like got, a good chunk of Rand chapters there, right? Just understand that like Lord of Chaos has some real critical stuff going on in that part of the book. I also really like Perrin, his stuff in Lord of Chaos. I think. Oh yeah. I think it's maybe a little bit underappreciated because there's.
This is all at the tail end, right?
I mean, it's like the second half of the book. It starts picking up steam a little bit for sure. So the first half of the book is, I mean, like any book really, right? You have rising action, you have setup, and then you start having payoff. So like RJ's setting up the pins, and then he starts knocking them down as you get into the second half of the book. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I thought I don't know if I feel this is the best book based on my read.
I don't think it is. I think Fires of Heaven is the best book, and I think that Lord of Chaos has the best ending.
Fires of Heaven
is the best book.
Yeah,
Fires of Heaven.
Absolutely.
I liked the Asmodean stuff in Fires of Heaven. I liked I liked when Rand came back in like chapter 20, and we find out about the what the Shido did and all that. I just felt it didn't really. We already talked about this, but I just felt like there should. I didn't feel satisfied with the battle. I didn't feel satisfied with Ravin. I actually found it. I was actually a little bored with it. I just didn't think it was.
You're
I didn't
a
think
bad
it was
person,
built.
and you're wrong.
I didn't think it was built up enough. Like honestly,
I just love Fires. The entire last half of the book is the climax, and it's wonderful. So I love that book.
I think there were missed opportunities. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's all subjective. I would just like to say, Fires of Heaven, yeah, it's a good book. If I was to like put in, I always say that like the book that I'm reading is like my favorite book in the Wheel of Time series, except for when I get to Cross of the Twilight, which is never my favorite book.
And Winter's Heart.
I did enjoy it the last time that I read it, which was kind of the first time I remember rereading it, where I was like actually. Like, I wasn't just like, hey, I need to get through this to get to Knife of Dreams. I did actually enjoy it. But I will say, if I were
Knife of Dreams goes hard.
Yeah. If I were to, like, line up my books on, like, regardless of which book I'm reading, which ones are in the running for best book, for me, it's going to be Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, Lord of Chaos, and Knife of Dreams. And, yeah, I'd probably throw in Shadow Rising. Those 5 books I think are the best ones in the series. I think that Lord of Chaos is probably the weakest of all of those. I think, like you said, it's like the best ending of any book in the series.
Yeah.
And it is a good book. The second half is really good.
I mean, is it better than the Great Hunt's ending?
Yes.
Are you sure? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. The Great Hunt is the second best ending. Yeah.
Not just in terms of this isn't me talking like thematically for the books or important.
I mean, I don't know how it gets to that point, but yeah.
In terms of like edge of your seat,
you will.
Just red
Great Hunt, I was
adrenaline.
Pretty at the edge of my seat. So I mean, from the time they got to Falme to the time that
Did I hear you?
Chapter.
The Great Hunt is my second favorite book. So
yeah. Aldan likes the Sando books more than I do, but we can hey, between friends we can have honorable disagreements about how terrible Sanderson messed up the end of the series. No, I won't even say
he likes
how
Towers
terribly.
of Midnight better than Gathering Storm. Interesting.
I won't say terribly. He did. I'll always say he did better than we had any right to expect. Is what I will say about Sanderson's finishing.
But I feel as a book, I feel The Great Hunt, like from start to finish, was extremely compelling, and I was really excited going from chapter to chapter to chapter. And
it is a good one.
I haven't really. I mean, Dragon Reborn was close, but I didn't get that. I didn't get the exact thing, but I especially liked the Dragon Reborn's ending, and I loved how it began. I loved the prologue in the Dragon Reborn.
Mm-hmm.
The prologues, I think, going forward are very long, and I feel they're just like vignettes or
they kind of turn into like Sandersonian Stormlight vignettes later on.
Vignettes,
in the series.
Sorry, wrong word.
The first couple ones were like, oh, this is a setup prologue, and then they kind of just become, hey, let's see what's happening in the rest of the world for a bit later on.
Yeah, the Matt part. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. The Matt stuff in the Dragon Reborn. I really did like him teaming up with Tom. I'm just gonna say this. I wish we could have seen Tom. Reason why Tom was upset. And depressed. I wanted to see the follow up to his woman getting killed. And we didn't get that. That and the whole Pat and Fane thing in the Great Hunt is my only issues with it. But I'm willing to forgive that. So, but yeah, so yeah, I am basically 7 chapters into Lord of Chaos. So I just finished the chapter where they get to the nightmare, or where Elaine and the Aes Sedai go into Teleron Riyadh for the first time, and they encounter a nightmare, and they're all being like pummeled by Trollocs and all that, and Elaine nearly gets killed. I was just like, okay. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I know she's not going to get killed. So when she says, think about it, make it go away, think about it, it goes away. So I was just like, all right, fair. I mean, this was a long chapter though. This was 30 pages of just Aes Sedai being Aes Sedai, and it took me days to get through it. I mean, chapter 5 with Matt was a very rough one. This one was rough too. So the Forsaken one I actually liked for the most part. Sometimes I'll be honest, sometimes some of the prose is confusing and I have to reread it. I like to, whenever I read, and I'm sure this applies to everybody, but I like to know what's being said. And sometimes with the grammar, and sometimes like the run-on sentences, I'm like, what the hell is he saying? I don't know if anybody has encountered this. Like sometimes it gets frustrating.
The confusing prose.
Yeah, I mean, it was chapter 6. I mean, look, there was something about Semerhage and Demandred. She likes to torture people, and she likes people to be fearful of her. And I wasn't exactly sure what he was trying to say. Let me see if I can find it.
Hey Brian, sorry to interrupt. I don't know if you saw the message I sent you there.
Yeah, baby stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, sick kid, and the wife needs reinforcements. So
all right, man. Well,
I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna have to cut it and head out in order to help her out. So
all right, man. So all right, man. So tell the wife I said hi.
I will, and yeah, you guys have fun. Continue to talk about the stuff. Yeah, I apologize for having to cut out early. I know.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry.
And
I'm surprised you were able to make it. So, man, take care of the baby. Take care of your family.
All right, man. All right. Talk to you guys all later. Everybody in the chat, have a good conversation, and I'll see you guys later.
Take care, man. All right.
So confusing prose. I don't know if I mean, I just need to read the book, right? So I know the specifics. But where I would get caught up, and it's probably specific to my, because I did audiobooks for the first time through. So it was just like remembering who characters were, and I couldn't look it up because every time I looked up a character on the internet, I would get spoilers.
Yeah.
So I pretty much just had to just keep listening, and then, oh, okay, I think this is this character from back there who did this thing. And then after I finished, I could do a bunch of Googling and see if I was right. So there at least for me, there were parts of the read through where things weren't very clear, but it was usually character stuff like that, or like the stuff that I would not catch up on. Like, and I've said this before, I had no idea that Padan Fain and Moradin were the same character. Just because I didn't know.
You mean Ordeef?
Or sorry, yeah. I said Moradin. I said the wrong character. Yes, Ordeef.
I know I do know Moradin is, by the way. I just haven't encountered him yet in the story.
Right. Well, that's another thing. Moradin and. And that is, Robert Jordan likes to do it, and Sanderson likes to do it too. They give 13 names to every character.
Yeah, I mean, the aspect
it's hard to keep track of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the same with Song of Ice and Fire. I've had to look. I mean, thankfully, there's like a family tree of all the houses at the end of each Game of Thrones book. So so I was able to look
and George R. R. Martin likes to repeat names too, so that's hard.
Yeah. So I mean, that's. Yeah, I mean, and of course, I'm sure. I mean, Martin kind of got that idea from Wheel of Time. So. I mean, especially the book length. I mean, based on what I've heard, I mean, really the very long fantasy novel really I think started with Wheel of Time. Like each book is like really thick and really, lots of
Yeah.
words and lots
Yeah.
of detail, lots of descriptions.
And it started from book 1 too, right? Like the first book is one of the longest ones in the series. And
Is
with
it?
with like a lot of series like Harry Potter, they start off they're real short kids books, and then
Yeah.
the audience grows up and the author gets better and they get longer as they go. There's
Yeah.
a lot of series follow that Harry Potter model.
Mhm.
But from the get-go, I mean, The Eye of the World, I think it's the third longest in the series, maybe? By
No,
word
I
count?
mean, I think you have the Shadow Rising is the longest, then I think Lord of Chaos is number 2. Then I think Fires of Heaven is number 3, and then got the Sanderson books.
The Eye of the World's super long.
Eye of the World's long, but I don't think it's that long. It's.
I was shocked. I'll see if I can find it, but I remember looking it up
I got right here.
and being shocked. Yeah?
I got right here. Hold the stream for me.
Yeah. Okay. How many slurs are you okay with me saying? Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm a soy boy, and I can only do audiobooks because I don't have. I'm dyslexic. It takes me forever to read, and I just don't have time to do it anymore with too many kids. So you can judge me if you want, but at least I'm reading kids, and he's coming back. Are you? Oh, the physical book. You're gonna do it physically. You got to go by word count. I'm glad you're back. I ran out of racial slurs. I couldn't remember anymore.
So the font looks pretty normally sized. This is about 650 pages here. I'm going to compare this to Knife of Dreams, which I got right here. By the way, who is this on the back right here? Do you know?
Sorry, that's Knife of Dreams?
Yeah, this is Knife of Dreams. You know what that is on the back?
Oh dear, I don't. Trying to remember the plot of that book and who that would be, and I'm not sure.
It looks like who would dress like? Is that supposed to be like Mazrim Time or something? Or is that supposed to be like an Ashamai because he's wearing the black or something?
Chat saying it's nailed.
All right, I don't know what that is.
I
think so. On the front here, I think this is Parent. This is midget Parent or little Parent. Everybody talks about. Obviously, this is Rand. I think that's Egwene, and I think this right here is Davram Bashir. I don't know if that's Davram Bashir, but I mean, I because of the mustaches, because of the nice thick mustaches, I think that's Davram Bashir. So, but yeah. Well, yeah, but let's see how long is this one? Seems like the words are bigger. Seems like the words are bigger here.
Yeah, the size of the words aren't always equal, so you can't go by book thickness.
Yeah, that's true. And this is 726 pages, so yeah.
So the internet says Shadow Rising has the most words, but then even that isn't, some words can be longer than others, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're saying Lord of Chaos is probably the longest audiobook, maybe.
I heard Shadow Rising is the longest. I think Shadow Rising is the longest book.
Anyway, the point of the story is they're all pretty long, and they start off long from the get-go, right?
Yeah, they do. Sometimes it feels long though. Sometimes it feels long, especially some of the chapters, some of the setup chapters or something. I'm really trying to read into and see if there's something to grasp onto to look forward to in the future. Something, is this going to be a thing in the future? So I mean that's kind of how that's how I read Song of Ice and Fire. I would always look and see if I could find clues in the prose to see if there was something that's going to be paid off in the future or something like that. Or for predictions or for theorizing or something. So
well, what theories do you have?
I don't have any theories because I know what happens basically.
Got it. Okay. Well, there's lots of fun moments to look forward to along the way, especially this book.
So what I think is going to happen is basically, obviously someone becomes Amerlin's seat. The name of the chapter is "The Amerlin Seat is Raised." So someone in the salad bars. Aes Sedai's becomes Amerlin's seat. So that's going to happen. I think that's going to take up a big chunk of the book based on what I'm seeing right here.
Yes.
I know that there's a chapter called "The Taking," so I think I have a good idea what's going to be taken. Because I accidentally read this, so I kind of had I kind of know who's going to be taken. So, but I don't know how. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be because of the linked Aes Sedai and all that. I just don't know how they're going to, because he's obviously on guard. He doesn't trust Aes Sedai. He's on guard, especially with what Alana does to him in chapter 10. So I'm just curious how they managed to get one over on him, like how they trick him into being tricked him into the situation he gets himself in. And I'm just curious what happens in the next few chapters after that, leading up to, well, the Dumai's Wells that everybody loves. So
it's very good. Yeah, it doesn't feel cheap either. Like, it's just sit back and enjoy the ride. It's a good one. Yeah. What are your predictions for the next Amerlin seat? That's what chat wants to know.
It's going to be Egwene, probably. Or Elaine.
All right.
No, it's not going to be Elaine. No, it's probably going to be Egwene, because Egwene's got the know-how with the wise ones and all that. She's not as strong as Nynaeve though, but I don't think Nynaeve would take the Amerlin seat. She just doesn't have the. The thing is, Egwene has the leadership. Egwene has the leadership capability that was kind of set up in the Fires of Heaven, especially with the way she kind of is the reason why Nynaeve gets nearly assaulted in the Teleron Riad. I forget why that was. Was it because she was like touching on nightmares or something? I forget why that happened. Why Nynaeve or why Egwene? Now I remember in Shadow Rising, the wise ones punished Egwene.
It was her projecting.
Way. Yeah.
Yeah, it was her lashing out, and she got hazed when she was a freshman, and so now she's doing it to Nynaeve. Yeah, it's.
So she basically dressed down Nynaeve. Nynaeve tried to pull her old authoritative bossiness on her, and it didn't work. So that's kind of, yeah. So Egwene was just kind of like, I'm done listening to you type of thing, and I don't know. She just kind of took. It seemed like she was basically bossing Nynaeve around or something. I don't know. So apparently Steve doesn't agree with Egwene. There's no reason for Egwene to be Amerlin. So I'm taking it then it must be like some sort of, Aes Sedai. You don't know why Aes Sedai do things, so it's probably some ulterior motive, I'm guessing, so that they can control her or something, like Queen Amidala with
could be
Palpatine. I don't know. I'm bringing Star Wars into this discussion.
I think it's a good guess. So you'll just have to see.
Yeah. Based on I mean I'm not sure if the nightmare. So the Forsaken. I've heard a few. There was other chat. Like, I thought the Forsaken here was interesting. They're building up Samael and Grendel and all that.
Yeah.
So apparently they had a relationship beforehand. She's kind of the reason why Samael turned to the dark side, or she's the one that and had him initiated into the Dark Brotherhood cult, even though Dark Brotherhood's actually an Elder Scrolls thing. The Dark Friendhood, Dark Friend Brotherhood, or whatever.
Dark Friendhood.
So, but yeah, she's the one that brings him, and it's funny they're basically trying to play like this little game of like who can like she's trying to manipulate him, and he's trying to counter manipulate or something by basically saying something to kind of throw her off and all that. And
they're always fighting and always working against each other, trying to be the top daddy.
Yeah, they want to be Nameless, apparently Nameless, because Nameless was set up in the very, very, very first part of the prologue, which was actually really good. I loved the introduction of Demandred and the Shader Haran and the Dark One himself. So, would you be Nameless? And I'm just curious what that. I'm curious what that means. So that means you're supposed to be the top dog. Obviously, he feels like some sort of ecstasy when he becomes Nameless, and I'm assuming before that Baalzamon was the Nameless, if I remember correctly, right? The only reason why Baalzamon had the fiery eyes, according to Dane, is because he tapped into something that I haven't encountered yet in the books, even though it's mentioned in Eye of the World very briefly in the prologue. Thank you, Dane.
What's he saying?
So Prophet says no, Ishi is not Nameless. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there is. If I think it's always, and I could be wrong because it's been a long time. I don't think up until that point he had named anyone Nameless. It was just something that he had been dangling in front of them, like, "Hey, I'm going to choose one of you to be Nameless." So I don't think that there was one chosen before this book. I'm trying to look it up to see if I'm wrong. Again, okay. I am not the Wheel of Time expert. I just really like it, and I don't have nearly the same retention as someone who's actually read the physical books.
Did you actually read them, or did you listen to the audiobook?
Yeah, the first audiobook. Yeah, so I did read The Eye of the World physically after. All right. And then you started doing these, and I'm like, okay, if I want to be able to participate, I just got to go back to audiobook.
Oh, I see.
I'm too slow. It takes me a long time to read a physical book.
Yeah,
and I never have time to sit down and read a book.
Yeah, so you do it when you're like working on stuff or driving or something. Pretty much.
When I'm commuting, I listen, and when I'm doing chores around the house and physical labor, I can listen to a book. And when I have free time, I need to work on YouTube videos. So I don't even play video games anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I barely play video games.
I don't have free time ever.
Yeah, well, you're a parent. You have
we got kid number 4 dropping in 3 weeks.
Oh, holy crap! Congratulations, man.
It's gonna be nuts. I have to finish remodeling the kitchen before that happens. Otherwise, I'm in trouble.
Dude, I'll DM you. Well, I'll send you something for that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. Congrats once again. It's four kids. Wow, that's well. Give it 18 years. And I'll be out.
Yeah.
Or will they? Or will they? Because of the way
the economy going. Yeah.
So
we'll see.
But yeah, I'm really curious if they're setting something up with. How do you say her name? Semirhage.
I think the audiobooks pronounce it Semirog.
Semirog. Okay.
Yes.
Semirog.
And I like that pronunciation.
All right.
Semagog.
Semirog.
Yeah.
Semirog. Okay. Semirog. Okay. And according to we learned that Masana is in the White Tower. So I'm taking it that she is the one that's giving a certain character Alviarin her orders. It's Darkfront, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm curious. Oh, here's something I'm curious about. So there's things I know and there's things I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what ultimately happens with the White Tower, Elida, Alviarin. I am now I'll be disappointed if this doesn't happen, but I hope Elida gets what do you call it?
Filleted alive?
I hope Elida gets betrayed by Elviarin and the Black Aja, basically, because she's just, or are they going to keep her around as a puppet? Because that's basically what she is now. She's just, Elida's just like, Elida's just being manipulated by the Black Aja, pretty much.
Yeah, I think, at this point she's not Black Aja. She's
stupid.
She's just might as well be, because it's she was installed by them because she's basically a puppet, right? So yes. and she's a very good puppet, because even if they stopped pulling the strings, she'd still pretty much do what they want her to do.
Yeah, and then because of the fact that Padden Fane...
She's a useful idiot. Yeah, Matt's got it.
Yeah, Padden Fane is still... Padden Fane comes to see her. So between... I'm curious if like with Pedro Nile, I'm curious if Kate Redding makes Elida sound different in the future because of her interaction with Padden Fane. She's going to be more conniving and more wicked as a result.
I don't know.
That's to the point where even the Black Aja are like, what the hell's going on with this bitch? Like, she's crazy. We can't control her. We have to get rid of her. Like, that's something I hope will happen, but knowing Robert Jordan, probably not. Anything that I want to see, Robert Jordan does not do. Robert Jordan doesn't do at all. So. Yeah, he tends to not do. Tends to not do the tropes that I like. So.
If you want to see her be betrayed by the Black Aja.
I want her to go. I want her to go batshit crazy to the point where the Black Aja are like, okay, we have to do something with her. Let's get rid of her. Let's throw her in a crate and send her to Sean Chan, and then Sean Chan will take care of her forever or something like that. Because Robert Jordan's not going to kill her off. I know that for sure. Robert Jordan's going to keep her alive because Robert Jordan doesn't like to kill women off unless he absolutely has to. I feel that with the way Matt and Rand are in the story, I feel that's how Robert Jordan is with writing female characters. He doesn't want to kill them off if he can avoid it. But that doesn't mean they're going to get fates. But that could mean they could get fates worse than death. So. So, and you can't say anything because I haven't gotten there yet. Or maybe nothing's going to happen, or maybe because Robert Jordan passed away, Sanderson didn't do anything, or he couldn't do anything because he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I think I'm with Dude Guy here. I think you're going to enjoy Elida's storyline. I think you've said some interesting things.
I'm going to enjoy. Is that what I'm reading it?
No, it's not in air quotes. I think I think if he gets there, he'll love it. Hell, Dan. Yeah.
Is it going to be like an enemy mine situation where they're going to capture one of our Wonder Girls? Is Elaine or Gwen going to get captured and be imprisoned in the tower, and then her and Elida have to work together to escape? Okay, that's probably not going to happen, but that would be funny if it did.
That would be kind of funny.
Elaine and Elida have to work together to escape the Black Aja in the White Tower. That's gonna happen. That's so gonna happen. And then Elida is gonna get eaten by Trollocs, but because Robert Jordan does not want to kill women, that's not going to happen. So she's going to do something, and the Sean Chan are going to take her away.
I haven't read the books. I don't know.
So yeah, that's a prediction. So what's another prediction? So. Matt's going to lose half of the light. He's going to lose half of his light. So something's going to happen to his eye, and he's going to be wearing an eye patch, and then he's going to be calm.
Okay, but you've seen pictures of him with an eye patch.
He's going to be like, call me Matt. The name's Coffin. Matt Coffin. Call me Matt. Matt. I thought you were dead, Matt. You know, something like that. Escape from New Sean Chan. Sorry. Yeah, doing my doing my
I got it.
Escape from New York.
I actually haven't seen those movies. I probably should.
Dude, Escape from New York is so awesome. I mean, they made
That's the first
they
one,
made
right?
a whole they made
Is
a whole,
L.A. the second one, the sequel?
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm still holding out hope that John Carpenter comes out of retirement, gets old Kurt Russell to play an old Snake.
That would be pretty great.
Escape from Earth, which was something that was supposed to be done years ago. So, but yeah, that would be that's never gonna do it. That's never gonna happen. But yeah, Matt. So that's gonna happen to Matt. Moraine, I think will get. Well, I think Moraine's not dead. I think that was just a Gandalf moment. I think she is still alive. I forget if she resurfaces or if she has to get rescued or something from the. That the question is, why haven't they gone after her?
After who? Sorry,
Moraine, when she fell into the gateway with Lanfear.
because they
Did it get destroyed? Did the door close? What happened?
Because you don't want to go through there. It's assumed she's dead. It severed the bond between her and Lan, and that 99% of the time means she dead.
So the doorways have been destroyed. Okay, that explains it because I forgot.
Yeah, they were on fire, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lan's bond broke. The doorway melted.
You predict.
Will go the whole way if he gets through Path of Daggers without losing it. I've heard nothing. I've heard booktubers say they liked Path of Daggers, and then my boy Mike's book reviews said Path of Daggers was crap. It was probably the first time he had more. There was more cons than pros. And what's funny is I love Mike's book reviews. All of his issues that he has with the series, I agree with, but he's still positive about it. That's kind of the reason why I'm still reading this. That's the reason why reason why I started reading. I've been reading Lord of Chaos, or getting back into Lord of Chaos. So yeah. Yeah, Eldan likes him too. I swear I've read comments. I swear I found a few of your comments on his on his videos. But yeah, I've been watching his Wheel of Time review. So he doesn't reveal too much, or if he does, I try to have the memory of a goldfish. If you've ever seen Ted Lasso, so. But I'm trying to think what else. So
it's the worst.
So So I know about the whole Shido thing. I know that what's her name gets kidnapped by them, and it takes like several books for Perrin to rescue her, and he has to get the help of Elias. So Elias doesn't come back until Path of Daggers, I don't think, or is it Winter's Heart? I forget which one. So he comes back.
I think he shows up in Path. I could be wrong.
And Path of Daggers, because I know it's a Sean Chan thing. I'm taking it to Sean Chan make a grand return in Path of Daggers. Basically, we see a little bit of them in the Shadow Rising, but they come back in full force in Path of Daggers, I think. Since their occupation of Falme and the Great Hunt, so. And that city Ebodar is the key city in this situation.
I'm trying to remember which book it is. They obviously come back, but
yeah. So our boy Alex has always been like Darth. He loves Darth Rand. I've heard so many stories of Darth Rand in the series. I'm taking it Darth Rand exists after this book, after this book's finale, if I remember correctly, because of the nature of what happens to him.
Yes.
So, okay. So, I'm just curious what are the Shidos just seem to be like a thing that just keeps happening. Like I know they're the main threat in this book. They were the big threat in the last book.
Mm-hmm.
Are they like just become a joke after this?
What do you mean by joke? Like,
Like they're not taken seriously. Like they're not really taken seriously.
I think it depends on
this.
Your perspective. I think.
Like, are they not like they're not like they don't really play a big. They don't make as big of an impact on the grander scale, especially when you bring the Shan into the picture. And of course the shadow themselves, the main threat.
I think it's like a glass half full type of thing. I think you're right and also very, very wrong at the same time.
Okay.
But Prophet disagrees. He never thinks they're a joke. I think
that's good then.
They are always a problem, but I think that is kind of the problem with the bit of the slog is that they're presented as a problem, but the problem takes too long to solve, and it's just the nature of the book spread out too much, and so no, they're always dangerous, but.
Mm-hmm. So are they still like? I mean, are they? All right. So do they? You know,
there's a very specific plot line with one of the main characters that's stretched out for way too long.
Oh yeah,
and
the Fail, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's with the Shido. Mm-hmm. And yes, they are a threat the whole time, but it is also kind of a joke because it takes like 5 books before anything happens. So
really all the way to Sanderson then?
No. Knife of Dreams.
Okay. So from what I'm understanding about Knife of Dreams right here,
Knife of Dreams is fantastic.
This is basically the beginning of the end. So
yes.
This was basically Robert Jordan's like, okay, I have to start wrapping this up. And so he started wrapping this up with this. And then of course he passed away. And then, everything, what was not wrapped up ended up, whatever Sanderson could find out was what was wrapped up, and what Sanderson didn't find out. Well, like the whole Pat and Fane thing that I heard, like the whole Pat and Fane thing I heard was just disappointing,
And I would disagree. I really liked how Pot and Fane was handled.
Okay.
And I understand that's the minority, but it felt thematically appropriate to me how he was handled. I know I'm the only one. I'm sorry. I can't explain my position here without spoiling stuff for you. And so I'm going to get thrashed in the comments, and I can't defend myself.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I mean, that seems.
I don't like that he disappears for 5 books. No, I like how his story ends.
Yeah. So that's kind of the other thing, because he was so part of the reason why I love the great.
So I can be vague about it without spoiling anything. I like the way his story ends because of the fact that he disappears for 5 books. There. Okay, go on.
Interesting. Because I mean, like I loved, like he had a presence in like the Great Hunt that was just something that wasn't really replicated in any of the other books.
Yeah,
and because of that, it felt the stakes were high, and then you have the Shan show up, and then you have High Lord Turok, and then you have the White Cloaks. You have freaking Jacob Carradine doing bad shit. There was just so much stuff. There was so much pretty interesting stuff going on. And then you had the transporting to the other worlds. You had the Flicker where they lived thousands and thousands, maybe infinite number of possible lives and all that. There was just so much interesting stuff going on that it just made me like, right after that book ended, I wanted to read The Dragon Reborn. I love the prologue to
Oh,
The
yeah.
Dragon Reborn.
I'm with you. I love The Great Hunt. It's so good.
But then like typical Robert Jordan, the chapters in the beginning of the Dragon Reborn were slow, but they were actually, I mean, the first chapter was slow, but the following chapters were actually really good, leading up to when Rand vanishes, and then they have to go after him and all that. And it was a step down in my opinion, but there was some really great stuff, like Egwene's trials, dude. Those trials, that third trial, I was like, holy! I was listening to the audiobook, walking the mean streets of Chicago at night. That was creepy and terrifying and intense. I was like, is this foreshadowing something? And unfortunately, at this point, I'm like, no, it's just. It was basically doing. I feel like he was doing something. It was just a possible. I mean, well, it wasn't even possible. It was just something that was part of. It's basically supposed to be some subconscious aspect of the character or something like that that's supposed to show. And so she feels I mean, I haven't really taken the time to analyze that third segment.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, they say
like
in the book, this isn't a foreshadowing of your future.
Yeah,
it's
the linking of the 13 Aes Sedai and the 13 Murdral. It was weird shit. It was weird. I was like, what is going on here? And then she gets out, and then she tries to rescue Rand because Rand is being held. So that did foreshadow Elida. So Elida basically takes the Amerlin seat from her. So Egwene is the Amerlin in this case. So, she will be the Amerlin for sure now because of thinking about this. She will be the Amerlin, but in that story, the Amerlin, the Elida takes it from her instead of Siwan. I don't know, like, and then they hold Rand hostage. So, okay, all right. I see. All right, so yeah, this is going to be interesting reading this book now. Interesting.
Looks really good.
I don't think he's going to get to Elida though. He's
Who?
Rand.
Trump? Rand?
Yeah, I don't think Rand's going to get to Elida.
What do you mean? Like fight her?
Well, he gets taken. He gets taken. I don't think he gets far enough.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. That's for me to find out. Read and find out. So.
Got it.
Savannah. I did meet Savannah in the prologue. So.
Is she the leader of the Shido?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She's like she does, but she I don't think she ever took the trial.
Yeah.
She never took the trial
because they're not in the waste.
Yeah. I didn't take the trial. Excuse me. I had my drink is still affecting me. And Couladin's dead. Yeah. I still wanted to see, and I know I argue with Pips. I'm sure all you guys are going to disagree with me. I wanted to see Couladin. I wanted to see Couladin fight Matt. Like I wanted to see what the Shido, what the Aiel were. How I wanted to see I wanted to see a duel with. I wanted to see a duel. And it would have been interesting if he would have done the whole thing. Maybe instead of sword forms, there's spear forms or whatever. I don't know. I would have loved to have experienced that. Or Matt manages to capture Couladin and then Rand hangs him.
Okay, that could work.
Because he's like I'm the law. Put down the law. Yeah, that one crusty wise one Sorelay is like, I love this kid. I love this guy. He is tough. And he's like, I'm the law. So it would have been cool to see Couladin get hung and all that. I don't know. I just felt it was
disappointing to have them fight off screen. Yeah.
It didn't feel satisfying. That's all it is. I mean, if you guys are okay with it, that's fine. I just felt it wasn't satisfying.
I think it fits with Matt's character. It's just like, I guess I killed him. Is dumb luck.
Yeah, so I don't find that. I don't really care for that.
Anyway, I think you'll really like this one
because I want to experience this stuff. I don't want to just assume that's where the character's gonna. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's stuff to experience. It's and it was definitely a choice Robert Jordan made to not show the fight scene. I think it added to Matt's character to just have him walking back up and like, oh, what happened? Oh, I killed Couladin. What? Like, what? I'm sorry. Come again. You know. But obviously, I don't disagree. It would have been cool to see them fight, but I also like what we got to. So.
Yeah.
What's gonna satisfy you, Brian? A chili dog?
No, something that's gonna wow me. I mean,
sorry, that was salty.
there's
That was salty C's comment.
Yeah, chili dog. That's a Sonic the Hedgehog will eat a chili dog. That'll satisfy Sonic the Hedgehog, not me. I'm Chicago. We have Chicago style hot dogs here.
Yeah, I think it also. I understand your frustration, but at the same time, if you're thinking about it thematically, it really accentuates Matt's character of his dumb luck and just nonchalance and just like I was trying to run away. I was trying to get away from the battle, and I ended up killing Couladin, right? Just having him come through, and it also, at the same point, it also illustrates the complete insignificance of Couladin's character to have him killed off screen.
Mm-hmm.
Like he thought, he's feigning to be the Dragon Reborn, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Karakarn, and he's starting a war over it and killing all of these people, and then he gets killed by a little kid with a stick off screen, and you're like, yeah, you were not important. So
yeah, that's not satisfying at all.
The themes work for me.
No.
Anyway,
there's gotta be some emotional satisfaction there. And based on what it was setting up, it was a letdown.
Aldan says, yeah, I would have preferred to see the fight too, but what was more important about the scene was to see Matt assemble the band.
I did like that. That was the light at the end of the tunnel that I liked. I liked how they are like, we're gonna follow this. We're gonna follow this guy because he saved our butts.
And Salty C agrees with me. Robert Jordan was right. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a one for.
Agree to disagree.
I think we're tied here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just. I know what I like.
Yeah.
And it's just I read it and I was just like, that's it. I mean, I can't really. That's it. Okay. So. Yeah, I can be critical of Robert Jordan, even though he's no longer with us. But yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Oh yeah, no, he's got flaws. Yeah. There's lots of flaws in these books, and I still love them.
Yeah.
Go watch
if I can get through this series and not fall asleep every time I try to read a chapter, it would be wonderful.
Do you want to know something really embarrassing? Salty Seas has told us to go watch. John Carpenter's The Fog.
Yeah, me and him did a serial horror yesterday. We were talking about it.
I
got hit with copyrights because I used some of Carpenter's awesome synth soundtracks. But you know what? I'm gonna fight it and see if it works. It's a great movie. It's not my favorite Carpenter movie, but it's up there.
Yeah. Well, if you want to lose all respect for me, I've never seen John Carpenter's The Fog. I've only seen the remake.
Well, I don't know. The Carpenter's movie is. I mean, Fog is not his most popular movie, and it's not my favorite. So if some people missed it, you know, I'm cool with that. The remake, I don't know. When did the remake come out?
But I remember hating it.
The remake.
Yeah.
Oh, he had Tom. Well, who was in it? Tom Welling was in it.
Tom Welling. Yeah.
This is when he was at the height of being Clark
Smallville.
Kent, Smallville, and all that. So, yeah, I haven't. I'm curious if it wasn't shot to shot remake, but I don't know. I'll have to see.
I just remember it was awful.
Yeah.
So
In Rand's mind, the battle was all about luring out Samael and or the other Forsaken. What in
yeah, Couladin. The Couladin wasn't really important.
Oh. So apparently, yeah, so that was something that was confusing in that book was Rand automatically assumed when he gets attacked and when some of his maidens die and he falls and gets hurt. He assumes it was Samael, and it didn't really. How did he know that? Because I was looking for clues to how he knew that was Samael.
Well, he was attacked with the power, right?
There's other Forsaken. It could have been Robin.
Oh yeah, I think he assumed it would be Samael, but it was obviously one of the Forsaken.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter who it was. He's gonna hunt him down.
So I'm gonna look and check and see if
I think he's hoping it's Samael.
Is it because? Well, okay, maybe it's because he saw where. Maybe he saw it coming. Maybe he saw where the direction it was. Or no. Or did Samael himself?
I think they also knew that
transport?
Samael was kind of the one behind these movements, right? And so if any of the Forsaken were here, it would have been him.
Oh, Shai says that he saw the direction. Oh, okay. So yeah, so southwest then. So if it came southwest, then it would be Ilion. Okay, yeah. And yeah, they did kind of set up the golden bees earlier in the book, Samael and the golden bees, I think. Some dark, I forget. There was like the Trolloc fight in that one where Matt's kind of naked fighting them, and Melindra's there, and yeah. I think Melindra was working for Samael, if I remember correctly. She was the dark friend that worked for Samael, and I think they were going to do something. Was it Samael or was it Robin? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. They, especially having read the audiobook, a lot of the Forsaken get squished together in my mind, and I have a hard time telling them apart.
Yeah, that happens. So, but yeah, so I'm still. I mean, I might do one next week. I'm definitely going to be caught up by next week for sure. So I'm 1 through 7. I was going to skip 8 and read 9 today and then not cover 8 later. But it looks like I'm just going to read 8. So go from the nightmare to, I'm guessing chapter 8 is basically the not the result, but the aftermath of that. So read that, and then of course, then there's Patron Isle, and then maybe I'll cover some more. Maybe I'll cover some more chapters if I can. If I cannot fall asleep while reading them, and the Lessons and Teachers one, chapter 10 is actually really good.
Yeah.
10, 11, anything with Rand in this has been really good.
Rand's good in this book.
Chapters 10, 11, the chapter where he finds out who his mother is, I thought was really good. I like those chapters where we learn stuff, really, learn impactful stuff, like the chapter in The Great Hunt where he finds out that he was born on Dragon Mount. And that he is the Dragon Reborn with him, Moraine, and Suwan in Feldar in the office in Feldar or something like that. I thought that was great stuff, and of course I loved him learning about Shael in the Shadow Rising, in the He Who Comes with the Dawn chapter. That was a great chapter. So there are really good chapters that are in these books, and that's why I'm still reading it. But the thing is, there's so many chapters that are rough. I'll just say rough. I'm not going to say bad. I'm just going to say rough. And I'm trying to go in paragraph to paragraph, trying to take away as much as I can, and I'm really trying to appreciate the prose the best I can. So I'm not quite the. How do you fall asleep in Laura Cass? Easy. read the Aes Sedai chapters, and nothing's going on, and they're just arguing and stuff.
Brutal. It's politics. You don't like politics in your.
I've read Song of Ice and Fire. I love I Claudius. I'm game for some intrigue, but there has to be a danger too.
Yeah,
I have to feel like there's a danger coming, or there's some sort of stakes. Sometimes the problem I have with this series is that I feel like there's no stakes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
I'm trying to unlearn that. I'm trying to get them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remove that element from my brain. So.
I guess if you're considering just the Aes Sedai plot in this book, the stakes aren't quite as apparent. But even later on with the Aes Sedai, like, it gets more obvious what the threats are when they actually like go to war against the tower and stuff.
Don't they not go to war to like the final book or something?
Oh no, they I can't remember how
they just hang out the salad bar for like several books.
They're still like gathering armies and stuff with what's his bucket? What's the general's name?
Gareth Bryn.
Gareth Bryn, right? They haven't like actually like started messing with the tower yet, have they?
That was a good moment when he's just like, hey, he states his terms in the fires of heaven. He's like, he's like, the leave them to me. They do not answer to you. I answer to you. The men answer to me. I love that. I thought that was pretty
if you want me to actually win this fight, you're gonna have to let me make choices. Yeah. And
then
Gareth Bryn's great.
And then I heard that doesn't really go anywhere. So, oh well.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
it's important, I think.
So, yeah, I'm curious. I'm also curious about Varen. So I liked her in the Grapevines, and I thought she was an interesting character. I do know that she is something that I should know about, but I kind of do. I don't know why she is. I don't know what her agenda is.
You know about spoilers?
But I do know what she is.
How did you figure that one out?
Because I listened to a book club stream, and I accidentally got found out, and I had to turn it off.
That's the reason
why I could never finish the rewatches, because they Pips and Dane and they will talk. They talk spoilers from.
It's probably much worse for you because you're friends with all of us, right?
Yeah.
But even if you're not, it is impossible if you're starting the Wheel of Time right now to avoid any spoilers for the series. Yeah. Like, and especially, reading the audiobook and then trying to remember all these characters, trying to remember which one's Gawain and which one's Galad.
Galad Galad Trakan for season 3. And
I Google their names because I'm like, wait, which brother's which? Which one which one does this and which one does that? And literally the first sentence on their bio is, "Oh, that's a massive spoiler in the last book. Thanks, I'm glad I know that." Like, so
yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, but Alan, thanks for doing this. I think this is a good place to stop. So. Yeah,
just make sure you let me know what chapters I need to get to, and I'll be there. So
well, definitely.
I do normally have my own live stream on Sundays, but I can at least show up for a little bit.
Yeah, so it'll probably be up to probably up to 16 or something, or the Tellings of the Wheel. I think that's the one with the. I want to see if I can get that far. I might not get that far though.
I mean, this for the next 3 weeks, I have a lot of reading time because I'm just doing physical labor, and I got to get through a lot of Dungeon Crawler Carl and Wheel of Time.
So our boy Pips is going to be leaving. He's going to be deploying in November. So I'm going to try and have this finished. I'm gonna try and finish the book by roughly Halloween time, maybe November 1st or something. That's my goal. So I don't know how I'm going to be splitting this up, but I'm going to try and finish the book by then. So, and when I see, if I'll have to see how I feel coming out of this, see how I feel if I will continue the Wheel of Time, basically.
Dude, look, if you don't like the ending of this book, like, I would stop, honestly. I don't think you're going to like this series if you don't like how this book ends.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been because I don't know, like, I was hoping to like the last two books, and I just ended up feeling disappointed and all that. So, and so I'm just curious. There's a little bit of a gap between my expectations and what you guys liked about the series in the first place. So I'm just worried that I'm gonna see the ending and I'm gonna be like, it's okay, it's not, that's what I'm worried about. I'm gonna have a Larry David reaction to it.
Yeah, don't let us build it up. Just read the book and enjoy it. But I'm also not like, you're not even halfway through the series yet. Like, if you don't enjoy this book, just don't put yourself through it. I think it'll make us resentful too, to come on your stream and just have you not have a good time for the rest of the series too. Like, it'll just don't do it to yourself. But this book's really fun.
Yeah.
I hope you like it, and I hope you keep reading. But
yeah, I'll keep that in mind. So, because I like fantasy. I love Lord of the Rings. And on the other end of that spectrum, I like Song of Ice and Fire, even though that's not finished. So,
it's a fickle mistress. That Song of Fire and Ice.
Yeah, that's never going to be finished. I mean,
probably not.
I'm hoping it does, but it's at this point I'm not expecting it.
Just this week, he was talking about, I promise I'm going to write the rest of the Dunk and Egg series. After I finish Winds of Winter, I'm going to write that. I'm like, you still have a whole other Song of Ice and Fire book to finish too, bud.
You know how many years he's been saying, you know how long ago he said he was going to write more Dunk and Egg after Winds of Winter. He said that since 2016.
I know, but now he's got a second fire under his butt because they're adapting the Dunk and Egg books.
I know, and I'm probably going to watch it. I'm hoping it's good because
same, yeah.
Because I mean,
that comes January, doesn't it?
It's I don't know. It
comes early 2025.
It comes out before House of Dragon season 3. So, but that looks like it's gonna.
I'll look it up. Oh, June. So we got a year. But
yeah. So yeah, we do got a year. Steve, I am going to. I don't know exactly how things play out. I don't even know exactly what it is that you guys really like about the ending. So I don't know how it ends. I don't exactly know what happens in those chapters. So
it all happens off screen, so you're gonna hate it. I'm just messing with you.
Okay. Dude, you're kidding, right?
The book ends with Egwene saying, "Wow, that party we went to was real great, huh? All of these things happened," and she just presents a bullet list to the reader.
I know that's not going to be the case. I think I think I'll enjoy it. Like I said, I'm going into this with I'm really trying to temper my expectations. And Steve, you don't have to go on. We're going to be ending this pretty shortly. So I love the time stuff. Yeah, I do know about that. I don't know how it reaches to that though. So just because, the ending I could still enjoy. I've known endings. I knew the ending of The Wrath of Khan before I watched the movie, and it's still powerful.
Yeah, no, I knew exactly. I knew how that one ends, and that was a good movie. I think Dude Guy says it perfectly here. We won the last battle, guys. Good job.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I'm surprised we got so many people. Everybody who comes for the Wheel of Time stuff, you guys should come check out the chillporeal stuff. Hit the bell for notifications. Should they hit the bell for notifications? Should they watch the chillporeal that we did? We talked about your faith. We talked about Mormonism, didn't we?
We did. That was a fun talk.
We got to do a part 2 because everything
Sure.
has to have a sequel, right?
Sure. We can.
The answer is yes, Nerdporeal. Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
I will do it, but I will.
Or say no. Fuck you.
If you want me,
I don't want to.
If you want me in a sequel, I will have to be recast as a woman. So
with the
I'll just get a sex change. It's fine.
What about race change? You're gonna have to.
I will come in blackface. Yes, if we do.
You're gonna have to go get sunburns the hell and come back, or you go or I don't know. I don't. Or we're gonna have to Charlie Chan you up or something like that or something. Bill Cosby Max. With a free set of Quaaludes. Okay, that was bad. I'm sorry. I won't say that. That was bad. Do not keep in mind all the victims of bad behavior like that. And
yeah, victims like me who used to idolize Bill Cosby.
Dude, he was America's dad.
Seriously, I have entire stand-up routines, like entire albums memorized. To this day, I could just do the whole routine.
How many times have you heard the pregnant wife bit?
Which one was that on?
I don't remember.
I only had a few. So I had To Wrestle My Brother Whom I Slept With, which is just perfection. Bill Cosby himself was pretty good too. What was the other album called? I had like 3 albums, and I just listened to him over and over again.
But he's done that. He's done that stand up in the Cosby Show, where he talks about his wife, and wife gives birth, and I forget what she calls him. I forget. Like she called me.
Oh, is that morphine now? Yeah.
No,
okay.
she said your mother's not your mother or something.
Yeah, and that's when she told me that my parents were never married.
Yeah, there you go. That was it. That's
the one. Okay,
that's a good one. So
she called him a bastard, guys. That's the joke.
Called him a bastard. Okay. Yeah. So keep reading this, and So technically Mexican. Alan, do you have anything else you want to? You have anything you want to promote, or if you already promote stuff, anything else you want to promote?
No, just I mean, I have my meme edits. I make fun of bad TV, and I'm way behind on Wheel of Time, Rings of Power, because it's depressing and it takes forever. But
you didn't finish season 2?
No, I finished it. I just haven't finished my videos.
Did you know?
I've only gotten through episode 4.
Did you know that Gandalf stands for Grand Elf? Did you know that?
I did actually. Yeah.
Isn't that?
They couldn't even get that right.
Cool.
It's actually they made it so much dumber.
Isn't that cool?
It's Gand. It's supposed to be.
I forgot.
His name comes from they were calling him an elf. He's that elf with a big staff, which is Gand elf, and that turned into Gandalf. So they couldn't even get that right, but it.
Oh man, I'm definitely check out my we talked. I let him just destroy Rings of Power.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a shame that shows like that are being greenlit, and just the sheer incompetence of Amazon and all these streaming services. Honestly, I think streaming has been more detrimental to entertainment and to art than anything lately. I don't know if
I don't think I'd put it on streaming.
just because they shovel out content like it's no other, basically. So
Yeah, I think
and
they're.
they have poor hiring choices. And I mean, look at Wheel of Prime. I mean,
yeah, but I wouldn't put that on. I don't think streaming is the villain here. I think the villains are the villains here. I think the people who are
programming, like your Jennifer Salkis and your
I think when you prioritize the message over the entertainment, because that's what's more important to them, right? It's cultural Marxism. It's not about the money. It's about communism.
It's about the message. It's about changing human behavior. It's about change. I mean, that's what BlackRock wants. They want to change our behavior. They want
Right.
to,
Yeah. That's a great analogy. What does BlackRock want? They want to own all of the houses, so your only choice is to rent. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's exactly what they want to do with entertainment. Right? It's not even called movies and TV anymore. It's entertainment, because it's not about making money. It's about the end goal is you don't have any other alternatives. It's normalizing this to the point where there's nowhere else to go, and then this becomes the new normal. This becomes the new quality. It's brainwashing and indoctrinating an entire generation of people to think it's totally normal for boys to say that they're girls and to just accept this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a damn shame, because it's getting into video games too.
You should read that. You should read The Naked Communist by Cleon Skousen, who I'm related to.
All right, give me another here. I got my bill that I don't do anything with. I actually got a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of book recommendations the last couple of days. Rules for Radicals is something Corey or Salty recommended I read. Black Company, Old Man's War, those are other things. So what's this called, Alan?
The Naked Communist by Cleon Skousen.
The Naked Communist by Leon, what's his name?
Cleon Skousen.
Cleon, what, from Antigone? Cleon, Cleon?
Yep.
How you spell Scout? Was it Skousen, you said?
Yeah, let me get it right. Skousen.
Skousen. Okay. All right. Cleon Skousen. Okay. Cool. Naked Communist. All right. Anything else? Anything else you want to recommend?
No, I just have my normal live stream, which normally happens right now, but I took a week off because all my regulars were busy. So
yeah, Shy doesn't want us to get political.
That's the thing. I don't
politics
either.
Politics is
that's the thing.
From culture, I guess. I don't know.
I don't either. I want to just talk about nerdy crap. I don't want to get political, but it always ends up getting political because we're not the ones that made that choice, right? We're not the ones that started putting this stuff in movies. So
yeah, and sometimes you gotta get political because certain shows are political, like The Wire. So there you go.
Yeah.
And me and Alex we were really talking about politics for the entire time. So yeah, Yuri Bezmenov. I've seen that interview. I've seen the Yuri Bezmenov interview.
That's a good one.
I also have, even though it's not Bezmenov, I have the archipelago, the Gulag archipelago. Got that on Alexander Solzhenitsyn. So that's another good one too. Politics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all this has been building my interest in history and philosophy and politics and all that. So,
is it Shane Gillis that has that joke? Like, oh, I keep watching I keep getting more and more interested in history. I keep watching World War II documentaries. I know that's early onset Republican, but I can't. Let's go.
Yeah. So, all right, man. So I think that's good. I think this is a good place to stop. It's been 2 hours. So
Yeah, it's been fun.
So next week, see if people are available, and we'll probably do. I'll probably we'll start book club, and get a nice intro made, and try to continue it as far as we can and all that. But yeah, the plan is I want to finish the book before our buddy Pips goes back onto deployment. That way I have a chance to talk with him, and if I didn't like it, he can argue with me and call me a bad friend, terrible with the worst takes in the world and all that, and it'll be a lot of fun. You guys can all dogpile me.
He'll get heated. Yeah,
I'll get heated. All right. So, but I'm not gonna whine. I'm gonna try and read it and get the best that I can out of the story and all that. So, I do this with a good intention. I'm not doing this just to be a what do you call it?
A negative Nancy.
A negative Nancy, an asshole, dipshit.
I wouldn't call you any of those things.
Well, Pips does.
No,
that's because we're friends. Or what do you call it? I can't think of another one. What do you call it where someone is purposefully acting the opposite of everything?
Naysayer, devil's advocate, cuck.
No, I'm trying to think of the word.
I know. I can't think of it either.
Brain farts. A contrarian.
Contrarian. There you go. That's the one.
So yeah, I'm not doing this to be a contrarian, or malicious.
No, I never
malicious.
thought.
Yeah, malicious. Yeah, Aldan.
I never thought that was the case. I can tell you earnest about it, and that's why it's so sad. I want you to like these books more than you do.
I mean, I still love the first three. First three with. I mean, I did a great hunt stream with someone who just read the book, and I was still really enjoying it. It's just because I like those first three. That's why there's more disappointment in these for me. So that's why. So
yeah. Well, I know, and I don't know. I don't think a lot of other people will say it, but yeah, if you get to the end of this book and you're done and you didn't enjoy it, I would stop, because you're coming up on the slog and it's gonna just get worse.
I know it gets
better.
I know it gets worse. So, but if that's the case where I'm just completely, and it's possible if I don't like it, and I will probably stop the series at this point, and
you can skip the slogs.
You can skip the slog.
Honestly, maybe, like, if you're like, oh, I just don't want to do this, we'll just summarize it for you, and you can just skip to Knife of Dreams. If I don't like it, I will probably stop, and I will probably donate the books to the White Cloaks or somebody, whoever wants, because I bought all 14 of them, so oh wow,
I might donate them or something.
Got them all hardcover.
Yeah, hardcover, brand new. Yeah. So, but I'm hoping I like it, because I mean there's quite a bit of investment, especially in the Rand stuff. And I really did enjoy the parent stuff in the Shadow Rising. I just didn't like exactly how it ended, like the very, very ending of that part. It just felt very rushed, and I couldn't buy the fact that these farmers were able to slay the Trollocs or defeat the Trollocs at that point. But that's just me. But I felt like there needed to be more detail for it to be believable. That's other than that, the parent stuff was awesome. Like, yeah. I loved like the fact that he lost men and he had to deal with that, and the fact that he was wounded and he needed to close the gate because the Trollocs were coming in. That was good stuff. That was the high stakes. And then you had the Tinkers came into the picture, and then it kind of repeated what we learned about the Aiel in the glass columns, especially when the grandson ends up being fighting with them instead of, and being isolated or alienated from the rest of his family. That was good stuff. I mean, I love that. That was emotionally engaging, and I really enjoyed that. Like, it got me. It made me care about a character that I thought I freaking hated in Eye of the World, Aram. So, yeah. And I've heard he has a wild story coming up thanks to Dane. So
yeah, he's got a little bit left in his story.
So yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, there were lots of aspects of the Shadow Rising I liked. I just didn't like the whole book. There was some really there were some rough chapters. I'll say. I'm not going to say bad. I'll say rough for me because it's so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just that's pretty much my take. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully things will turn out well. But yeah, so everybody, Aldan, Dude Guy, Molinaire, Shy, Trip, Miss Martin Muses, Salty, and some Steve of the Dragon. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the stream. And we'll definitely get some stuff going. Definitely, I know you guys don't really do stuff outside Wheel of Time, but definitely check out some of my other stuff. I cover a lot of ground with chillporeal. So we did a Star Trek stream on Friday. It was fantastic. If you like original Star Trek, I'm sure a lot of you guys don't. Aldan, I know, doesn't, but yeah. But it was. I need
to get back into it. I need to watch some more. But
so, yeah. So everybody, I'll probably Steve. I'll either DM you or I need someone. I have a Friday opening. And I'll see if anybody's available. So, all right, guys, take care, and have a good night.
Bye.